Yeah, some couples avoid the therapy that they clearly need and just channel their inner rage into some sort of twisted love for each other. That seems to be the case with Mr. and Mrs. Miller. And much like Mr. and Mrs. Smith in that movie there, it can both be cringeworthy and highly entertaining to watch. And for some reason, Stephen Miller's wife, Katie, she has been on TV a lot of late, and it never seems to go very well unless you enjoy watching a dumpster fire. In that case, you are not going to want to miss this one. So hit subscribe to Really American Media. Help us hit 1 million subscribers before Katie Miller has me deported. Because as you'll see in a few minutes, much like her husband, that is her go-to card to play when she gets herself all worked up. And many of us on the left have argued for a long time that something is wrong with White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, not only based on the things that he says and does, but when very weird things like this happen.
Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen? Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me?
Yeah, that was apparently a glitch in the Matrix as Miller just froze up on live TV and stopped talking. Maybe Trump pulled his hand out of his ass and stopped working his mouth like a puppet.
If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet.
And I'm about to show you Stephen Miller's wife melt down on live TV. And in case you're wondering where she learned it from, spoiler alert, it's from her puppet husband.
Okay, so you just answered my question.
The gang that he is accused of being persecuted by doesn't exist anymore in El Salvador. The 18th Street gang is gone. So you have an illegal alien from El Salvador. Bill, where are we supposed to send the illegal alien from El Salvador?
You haven't even allowed me to ask you a question.
Yeah, remember, a weak debater just gets louder when the facts aren't on their side. A weak debater plays the victim card when they cannot defend their insane comments. Maybe that is a mental disease, or maybe it's actually an STD, because both Millers have it, as you'll see right here. So last night, Katie Miller went on the Piers Morgan debate show where everybody just flings their poop at each other like a bunch of monkeys fighting for dominance. And the topic on this little chat here was Israel, which is not the point of this video. We're not getting into that. But it is what this shit show argument was based on. So enjoy watching Katie Miller melt down, play the victim, and project all over everyone.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that he wants to make
Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back and go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Is Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
Yeah. First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long, all day long. There's no special protection
because
for
what you're doing is you're decoding language
that
to
calls
mock
themselves
American
a Jewish state or a
and
Muslim
to say that
state.
we should not be here and we should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other people like Mamdani
No,
to use
I want Israel to be safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
Yeah, wow. Talk about projecting. Did she actually just lash out at somebody for using coded language, something that her cuck husband and King Trump do all the time? The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Yeah, I'm sure Katie Miller was very upset about that coded language, yet I can't seem to find any clips of her melting down over it. But let's get back to the Piers Morgan meltdown, already in progress.
Quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children
you
into this? What a weirdo.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not
hang on.
speaking.
Casey, to be clear, Casey, to be clear,
he inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish? Come on, Pierce. Where are you?
What?
Where are you standing?
Kate,
for this?
God, you're so
Katie, if I can speak,
everything's your
if I
shield
can
is
speak, listen.
anti-Semite. Fire him, cancel him, cancel him,
Cenk,
America.
Cenk,
Oh my God, Israel's
Cenk,
feelings have been
Cenk.
hurt. Why don't you work for this
All right,
country?
can we try and get
this country?
That is the textbook definition of a snowflake meltdown. And then she goes full Karen and demands the manager put a stop to this. Starting to think that Trump is right when he says transgender for everyone, because that woman has a huge set of balls to accuse someone else of using racist, bigoted language. What a fucking hypocrite. Screaming racist, bigoted language is what she and Stephen Miller call foreplay.
And I appreciate you coming on the show, and I like you coming on the show.
And I'm saying
But,
that two other
I
guests
think
on
you're
your
able
show
to.
are welcome to participate in these anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have to jump in here. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews. That is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposedly criticizing the left for, that you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force in American society. That is not an attack on Jews. That is no reference to his identity. This is an attack on him individually.
Man, she is like the car wreck on the side of the road that you just can't look away from. And do you see that look on her face during that exchange? I have argued with women like that before, and trust me, they are not hearing a word you're saying because they're too busy thinking about how they can destroy your life, throw all of your shit in the front yard, and boil your bunny. That's a movie reference. Google it. That's not a so-called resting bitch face. That's a full-time bitch face because she's a terrible, terrible person. And by the way, I would only call a woman that when it is warranted, when she earns it. And in case you have any lingering doubt that she's earned that title, watch this clip right here. As Cenk Uygur is going off, she tries to interrupt and threatens to have Cenk deported. And yeah, he's a U.S. citizen.
Right. Hold on. So what happened in the Holocaust and all the pogroms were disgusting. That doesn't mean that Israel.
Unreal. Birds of a racist feather flock together because Stephen Miller's wife just said, you better check your citizenship application and make sure everything is correct. She's implying that she would like to have him deported simply because they're arguing. And again, he's a citizen. And that is the Trump regime in a nutshell. You're either with us or you're not welcome in our America anymore. In the comments section, well, they seem to agree. One person saying, quote, the Millers, for all intent and purposes, appear to be human bots similar to Trump, programmed as permanent victims living in alternate realities, incapable of taking criticism. Yeah, spot on. Or this comment, after that performance, I'm not sure that she'd get invited back on the show anyway. Exhausting being a Miller. All that screaming and yelling and being offended and being offensive and cruel. And while she's on the subject, very, very racist. Projection personified. That is exactly my point. She is projecting so much, I assume somebody is selling popcorn in the lobby. And then there's this comment that says, quote, it is absolutely terrifying that her cadence is identical to her abhorrent husband. It's almost like they're both puppets being controlled by the same evil puppeteer who isn't imaginative enough to give them each their own way of speaking. Truly bizarre to watch. Yeah. And speaking of things that are truly bizarre and cringeworthy to watch.
You are married to Stephen Miller,
I am.
so you are the envy of all women. What is that like?
The sexual matador, right?
What is it like being married to such a sexual matador?
He is an incredibly inspiring man who gets me going in the morning with his speeches being like, let's start the day. I am going to defeat the left and we are going to win.
And that right there is not projecting. It's overcompensating. Mega doesn't believe in science, which includes anatomy. So there's about a 1 in 0 chance that Stephen Miller is good in bed, even though he apparently does not sleep at night.
Hey, Katie, how are you?
Hi, Laura. So nice to be here.
How fun is it to be, Stephen's, he's just globetrotting, partying every night, obviously, in Asia, and like you're working, got the kids, your busy household, how are you managing?
Just like every other mom in our country, right? It's difficult, but we're doing it.
And I love how you can wake your husband up in the middle of the night now. It's the afternoon here, do you have a question? Just, does he really need to sleep?
No, he doesn't.
No.
The president doesn't sleep, so why does he need to?
Yeah, exactly. He just stands over in Air Force One and says, Stephen, are you awake? Why would I be awake, sir? I'm not. It's the middle of the night.
Yeah, Katie says her hubby can't sleep because the president bothers him all night while rage tweeting from his golden toilet, which sounds right. Maybe that's why the Millers are such assholes. A lack of sleep will certainly make you a little cranky and apparently racist. If only Mega World knew a guy that could sell them a good pillow to sleep on.
Hey, thanks there, Colin. Yes, it's me, Mike Lindell, the inventor of My Pillow. And thank you all so much for making My Pillow the #1 pillow in America.
Yeah, and with all of that being said, good luck getting sleep yourself tonight. But please do like this video, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, newest episode just got posted. Go check it out right here on this channel. I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.